your mind back, because I mentioned this to you. We were queuing outside a pub in 2020, and I thought to myself, oh, this is my local pub, and I actually might make a media friend, because we both live near this pub.
Yeah.
And you told me quite quickly, yeah, no, great, good that you live nearby and I live nearby and we're both going to this pub, but I'm moving to...
New Zealand, yeah. And you were wearing a hat from Ponsonby, that's the area we were going to move to. I felt the same, Ali. I was like, oh, look, I've made a bestie. And then you haven't really spoken to me since, so well, I think that's on you.
No, it's on you.
I've been back for a while.
You moved, and I moved away from where we were.
We'll go to the pub tonight.
Fine. Hate it and love it when we fight.
Allow me to introduce myself. I used to be in business with your father.
Let's talk about the gentleman, because, I mean, you get to work with Guy Ritchie. And I think people of a certain generation, of a certain age, Guy Ritchie is casually a bit of a legend. So I ask you the ultimate get-to-know-you question, Snatch or Lockstock?
Oh, Snatch, 100%.
Wow.
Easy.
Quick.
Yeah, easy. Joe, Snatch was the first movie that I remember in school people quoting.
I still, without realising it, quote things from Lockstock and Snatch. I say it's been emotional, and it's now gone beyond. I cannot remember where it's from.
It's been emotional. It's great. You know, because I love working with Vinnie, because he's such a sweet, soft guy. Not soft, but he's lovely, you know, unlike his persona.
There it is. Yeah.
But he said that was an ad-lib line by him. Yeah. Vince,
I was about to say shut the front door. Kind of do onto someone's head. Repeatedly.
Going in 3, going in 2, going in 1, and action.
What is he like? And it's a very vague question, but what is he like to work with?
He's got a very unique style as a director that was interesting, and I still really love learning in this industry. I love, like, every set is different, and to push myself, and his style is completely unique. I mean, normally for an actor, the one thing you know you must do is turn up knowing your lines. That's like the baseline. Actor job, be prepared.
Are you about to blow my mind? Because in my head he's like Wes Anderson and every single word must be exact.
No, well, it is in the moment, but it's not from the script that you've had before. So you'd get to set and then we'd kind of read through it with him in his trailer and he'd go, well, fuck all of that, let's start again.
Yeah, I mean, this is an expression, you've been Ritchied. When you go in and you expect to do something and you do the polar opposite of it. He basically likes to have the skeleton of a scene and then fill in when you're there.
So this is like Curb Your Enthusiasm, but with gangsters and posh people.
Exactly.
Did you know this before you got involved?
I had asked around and I'd been told you just have to experience it. It can't be explained, which is very true. So it's a little bit disconcerting the first few days. You're like, what's going on? You sort of stand behind the camera sometimes and feed you lines, and or you'll kind of say it beforehand and you'll go that, do that, do that. You have to be very quick on your toes.
But it's such rat-a-tat dialogue.
Yes.
It's written like a sort of, I don't know, 1940s, 1950s. You know, we divorced, but we're still in love with each other.
Yeah, there's no punctuation. I learned that very quickly.
That's
Remove all punctuation and just speak.
It's a screwball comedy, but with shotguns. How on earth are you? Is he literally just spitting things at you and you have to spit them out again?
Yeah. But in the best way. I mean, that sounds scary, but once you learn to give yourself to it, once you learn to trust the process and to find the rhythm yourself, I very quickly understood the rhythm that he wanted, and it is a particular way of speaking, it's a particular rhythm. And I kind of got that. I don't know why, I don't know if it's like a working class thing or what, but I was like, oh, I get that. I get that way of kind of just factually stating your points and going off in different tangents and coming back round again.
I would sort of reassure myself by looking around the cast and seeing Giancarlo Esposito, Ray Winston, Jolie Richardson.
I mean, especially Jolie for me personally, getting to kind of hear about her career and how she's found being a woman in the industry and the different turns her career took over the years, and like that to me was invaluable to kind of just process that and then to watch her work as well. Ray again, I mean, I was nervous about him being my dad. I was like, God, what's this going to be like? I was aware that the testosterone level in the room was going to go up by like 10. I was like, cool, we can do this. And he's actually this giant, gentle teddy bear. This is like a lovely, gorgeous human being. You can sit and have a chat with him, and he's very normal and kind. And then he starts acting, and you're like, oh, would not fuck with you.
No way. I would find it very difficult not to, at least under my breath, impersonate him in the adverts.
The bet ones.
In play with Ray. Actually, you just reminded me when you were saying you were speaking to Jolie and her career. When was the last time you saw that viral interview of ours come back into your Instagram
In
feed?
circulation, I think around pandemic-y time, right?
really popped off.
Yeah, do it.
Just to remind the world at large, this was when I asked the most insightful question of my life, which is, it's the third Maze Runner film, what's the most common question you've ever been asked? And you, again, quick as ever, with a sigh that could have ended worlds, said, what's it like being the only girl in the cast? And in a rare moment of just being myself, I just crumpled like a crisp packet in an oven.
As this is your final film of these, what would you say has been the most frequent question you've got over these years?
What's it like being the only girl in the cast? Yeah. Yeah, that question got old very quickly.
Oh.
Do you know, it got to the point where the boys would answer it for me
No.
whenever I was asked. And my point whenever I was asked that question is that I was never treated like the only girl. I didn't feel like the only girl. I felt like the other actor. And so they would pick up on that and they'd go, she wasn't the only girl, she was a person, and she was an actor, and I was like, thanks guys. I taught them a little bit of feminism.
I just like them if they actually said, but then of course I see that this is the gentleman, and I went, oh no.
Yeah, go on, say it. Do the question.
Here we go again. What's it like being one of two girls in the cast? No, yeah, Jenny's amazing.
Dodger Eucharist?
Thank you, Jeffrey. That's very kind.
The other thing about the Guy Ritchie project, any of them, is the music, right?
Yes,
I
very
mean,
much.
if we go back to Lock, Stock, we've got, I mean, The Boss, James Brown.
You two James Brown tracks in there, soundtrack, I think. Yeah, he's always got great soundtracks, and he's still motivated by music. And actually, weirdly, I listened to the soundtrack of the Gentleman movie, and that soundtrack's actually quite good.
He has some great needle drops.
Some great needle drops.
He's pretty good at what he does. Honestly, there's a part of me that I will now immediately have a sense memory. Police and Thieves, bang.
Totally.
You know, it's spooky,
Yeah.
Dusty Springfield.
Amazing.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Did you have any sense on set of what songs might be used in the final show? Because there are certain directors, like for example Edgar Wright, that know the track. They've already locked it in and they've spoken to people. Is Guy saying, okay, during this, we're playing that?
No, but I did go into his trailer a couple of times, and he would have a tune on, and he'd be like, I'm liking this, this might work over X. So he's definitely always thinking about it.
And that's what I love about Guy, is that he will just take a song and then just marry it.
Yeah.
And you can never separate that now.
That's so true.
So here's to that. Daniel, though, let's go back to him. He, to me, seemed to be trying to make everyone break at all times. That struck me as his little gag. Did he ever get you?
Oh yes, many times. That was a lot of the joy of it, you know, it was me and Dan trying to figure out the brotherly relationship and trying, because you know one thing that we were cognizant of is the fact that we're used to seeing guys work in, you know, 120 minutes or whatever, so seeing it over a season, we needed to find some thread lines that felt like they had a bit of evolution, if you know what I mean. So, and that was one of the ones we worked hard on, was Dan and I's kind of love-hate relationship. Welcome to the jungle.
Genuinely, were there any problems with breaking? And I always like asking this question, who that you've ever worked with has caused you to break most?
Will Poulter, hands down. Funniest human being in the world. Shockingly funny. And also kind and nice, so you're kind of disarmed. And he'll just say one thing, and I'll be gone for the entire day.
He just kind of cock an eyebrow for me.
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh, don't do that.
No, he's very funny, very funny.
I've got another question I've been asking everybody, and I'm rather proud of it, which is there a movie or TV cliche that you'd love to do, that you haven't been able to do?
Yeah.
Because you've done a few. You've done like action movies, obviously you've done like big dialogue set pieces like this. This is full of, in the nicest possible way, happy cliches. Ones I want to do, that just to get the ball rolling, flip a table in anger, throw water in someone's face. I would also like to dance on a table.
Okay,
Like
we can make that happen tonight if you want.
I'll do it right now. And the other one is I want to be in a chase, in a car chase, and then look behind me and say, we've got company.
Oh, that's nice. I want to do, and this is very throwbacky, the walking away from a car, smoking a cigarette, drop it into gasoline and the car blow up behind you. And I know that's not cool because we don't smoke on camera anymore. Maybe you could do it with a vape, I don't know if that would work as well. But yeah, that kind of just like, and then it blows up behind you.
The walk away from explosion, beyond a classic, but that's just a lovely little wrinkle.
Add a little bit, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
In fact, when you next work with Guy.
Yeah, I think he'd quite like that. I could pitch that to him.
Yeah. I mean, he's sort of done them all. Isn't it bonkers to think that he did Aladdin?
Bizarre. You don't need to say anymore.
That's.
Excuse me, boy, where's your boss? Help me out here, where's your boss? If I was going to talk to myself, I could have just stayed in the lab.
I want to ask a few wrap-up questions. We sort of wrap this up. And I was just wondering, out of curiosity, I suppose, but do you get people who confuse you for someone else famous? Does that still happen to you? And has that sort of stopped less? Because I'm often just curious about whether people just start talking to you, they half recognise you, and then just go, oh, no, shoot, no, I was thinking of someone else.
I did have a funny one when I first started my, one of my early jobs, and I remember, it was like a pilot or something, and I walked out of the hotel, and I was in New York, and I was walking down the street, and there were all these people following me. There's TMZ on a bike and all this kind of shit. And I was like, wow, I guess it's coming.
You're finally looking after Theo.
Yeah, exactly. No one knows who the fuck I am. And after a while, I was like, this is a bit strange. And I was like, dude, you realise I'm not James Franco? And they were like, oh, okay.
I'd never even, that's amazing.
Yes, that was rather funny. But no, not really since then.
Have you had any enjoyable, memorable fan interactions since we last spoke?
Oh, loads, man. I've been in South America for the last 10 months shooting, and to kind of see the fan base there has been amazing.
Did you say 10 months?
Yeah, over the course of 10 months, kind of going back and forth.
I'm feeling better about not meeting up with you.
Yeah, I've been busy.
That's a long commute.
I've been busy.
Can you tell me why you were there?
I was shooting a Netflix show called Senna, about the life of Ayrton Senna, the Formula One driver.
And with your family connection, this is so...
I speak Portuguese in the project, and yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was like a dream job to be able to use my Portuguese on screen, and for a story that is so important to Brazilians, and like, he's a hero to them. And
so this is super exciting. Is it a show or a...
It's a show. It's I think 8 parts, coming out the end of the year.
So you're in Peru, and fans of Venezuela, what have people talked to you about?
Yeah, so it's Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil, and it's like a really intense fan base that I've never really connected with before. And I went for a walk one day in the park, and this lady handed me her baby and walked off, and I was like, what am I meant to do with the baby? And she was like, no, I just want a picture of you and the baby. But she went and stood really far away to take the picture, and for a second I just kind of had this baby, and it was lovely. It was a very sweet baby, but I was a little bit like, I don't think you could do this in London. Hand someone your baby and walk off. Don't think that'd be allowed.
It's like that's like a movie cliche.
Yeah.
Please take my baby. Okay. Well, look, it's such a pleasure. Thank you for this. And next time I rewatch Lockstock, I'll think of you because I think, frankly, you're Lockstock and Kaya is Snatch.